Good evening, everyone. We are here with the 53rd episode of the Cultist Simulator Librarian run, playing as Van Vucetic, the detective, and for some reason I can't make the taskbar go away. There we go. So, just a heads up, I'm actually recording this one, so I was reflecting on the previous recording session that I kind of say that the Monday episode is always the one that's likely to mess me up, like the one where I potentially lose the game. And it's because of a lack of familiarity. So I'm actually recording this after what for you will be last Friday's episode. And it's because we're in a delicate position. And it's not just because I think I'm an idiot when recording at the start of the recording session. I actually kind of want to see how this turns out, because this can very quickly turn into something that we lose. So I've lost a writhing call, which is a pretty valuable grail ingredient for me on an ill-fated Azim summoning. That's life, right? I gotta deal with. I just gotta live with the consequences of that. We've got the weary detective coming after me now. Basically, if the Callagine fails to destroy the evidence, I've got 58 seconds of a favor from authority, and even then, that's just a probabilistic opportunity to avoid jail time. So we are really in a tough spot. Now again, there's a few things that may work to my favor. You know, we've got a tentative evidence on the table here, so there's, maybe it turns out there are some other things going on, but... Alright, my minion has returned, the evidence has been destroyed, I am a little safer. Now, the tentative evidence here is going to turn into damning evidence, so... Well, presumably, but we've at least removed the immediate threat, so we'll send the Callagine out to search the city first. I'm still going to get hurt by Azim, but I'm pretty sure here I can just heal that. I don't believe that turns it into a decrepitude. The thing I'm more worried about is I have a reason for wanting to keep one writhing call in reserve. Alright, yes, I will bear a scar, the kind that one day might be photographed for a museum, and the neighbors will talk. How they will talk. So yeah, Azim is sulking. Azim will be fine, eventually. We'll bring in the hireling, just basically so we can put them in the cupboard. Okay, I don't think I'm... Oh man, this is going to be a huge problem. The troublemaker... I can't avoid doing something with the troublemaker here. So, let's get Eldridge working on a snare right away. Hungers drive us. I don't think I can worry about summoning now, so... Right, I've increased the knowledge, I've increased my knowledge of the secret histories behind the one we know. I'm gonna... So, Forgotten Chronicles now. Now, this one requires a glimmering, so at this point we need to use passion alongside with reason. Okay, and I've got my notes here, so... if it was determined by what's in the Peacock door, then it would be Amaranthine Nectar in the Red Church and Dread in the Worm Museum. But we don't know that for sure. Okay, so Vagabond's Nap. But this is helpful for summoning. Peacock Door unsealed. When one dreams of the Red Church, one hears the voices of the Grail's names, the Thirstleys, the Ivories, the Lovelies, and the rest. Not all the Empowsi are women, they might be heard to say. The hungers of women run no deeper than the hungers of men, but a mother is never far from her child at its birth, and that's not always true of a father. Come closer, and we will show you what we mean. Now this is weirdly enough one that I would actually be willing to do a painting over, because I believe if I try this... So we can take the bitter black salts and bring in the formula of Ophidian. Azim already? Am I considering summoning Azim? Azim is still sulking in the Mansis. So this is not the best timing. So what I could try and do is do a painting to extend the life of the influence. It's not the best, right? Because that's going to have its own consequences. But it seems to be the best way for me to extend this. Will pay for the injury. All right, I'm certain that my adversary has lodged a copy of their notes. All right, of their notes elsewhere, with their solicitor, with their superior, or even with a contact in the press. This is troubling. And bold scheme. All right, this is going to be a problem. Here's another who would ascend before me. Independent occultists will try to monopolize the attention of the hours. They may also conduct other schemes, whether you like it or not. So we could potentially lose a location out of this. And any of these will be a shame to lose, so... If it's Karashim, it's good. If it's anything other than Karashim, it's like, we're worried. Okay, that's a little bit of a relief. My rival seeks tools and lore for their own ascension. Okay, we'll take the other hireling. I'm going to use the Callagine to destroy the evidence next. Passionate intensity, I see the mistakes, but I can also see the end. And it did just occur to me that I'm going to have another problem with the boss. This is something special that may provoke a reaction. My recent work is considered notable. I've exhibited the latest paintings publicly. Surely someone will buy something. So the glimmering's helpful here. Oh, interestingly enough, that didn't seem to provoke any more notoriety than I already had. So yeah, the idea behind this was to preserve the influence. Now here's the problem. I don't have a subject to talk about in work, and we've got 35 seconds before the... Well, even more than that, actually. So I think my best bet here, honestly, is just to do the painting again. I do need to make sure that I have a passion available for the reinstatement. I'm actually a little weirded out. Right, 1.9 seconds makes sense here. Okay, we've got a light in the skull happening, which is fine. I think it makes sense to move up the unresolved ambiguities at this point. And we should dream about the Peacock Store. So I guess the good news is that I get multiple attempts at summoning Azim here. Alright, my followers prepared a stratagem which, with considerable luck, might defeat a rival's plans. So that's good news. I think I'm going to leave the... No, I don't need to leave the talk verb open because I can sneak away the entry consultant. So 1 minute before we finish off with Azim. Dusty facts have become clear in my brain, for now at least. Happy to get a course of the heart. Lock this one away safely. When their screaming and raving subsides, I will subdue them properly. So I'm gonna do that one more time with the new hire, and then we'll deal with the evidence. Season of Vision's coming up, so I want to be a little mindful of that. But here we'll use the snare for an ambush. Again, Karashim is a little bit of a buffer for losing these locations, so my luck's gonna run out at some point. So we'll take the 10 seconds to lock away the shifty woman, even if that comes at the expense of the Callagine. We'll get the Callagine to destroy the 500-second evidence first, because this may expire on its own. Okay, we've locked this one away safely. When their screaming and raving subsides, I will subdue them properly. Nothing to say. In this case, we just work with the evidence here. Season of Despair. I don't see any reason to worry about despair here. My recent work is considered notable, and I've exhibited the latest paintings publicly. Surely someone will buy something. So I think in this case, we pretty much have to... Okay, here's the catch. I did just kill the incarnates. Sorry, Incardnescence. The very air is succulent with possibility. Pierce it and it might bleed. So the drawback here is that I didn't give myself enough time to talk to Sulochana about this influence. But that's fine. I am going to restore my position. How long do we have before? 36 seconds. Probably better I just don't play. I probably should stop playing around with the timings on these things. I should just let it run normally. Okay, so we did see the secret histories in the Worm Museum. Now, there is the possibility that that's evidence that it doesn't alternate, but again, we have that question mark with the Vagabond's map. So in this case, I'm going to go to the Red Church again. Okay, Winter and... Grail. Okay, so I put all that effort into preserving the Grail for no reason at all. When one dreams of the Red Church, one hears the voices of the Grail's names, the Thirstleys, the Ivories, and the Lovelies, and the rest. Not all the Impalzi are women, they might be heard to say. The hungers of women run no deeper than the hungers of men, but a mother is never far from her child at its birth, and that is not always true of a father. Come closer, and we will show you what we mean. So I suppose the question now is, why am I not going on this expedition? Oh, probably because I wanted to preserve the Callagine. Well, that's fine. He'll have things to do for the next little while. If I had a follower, I can begin in the expedition. Let's add Valsine for a start. So, we have read of a sultan who, 800 years ago, could sleep only beneath the stars. He ordered the construction of this observatory so that the stars could be accurately depicted on the ceiling of his bedchamber. Regrettably, the stars they saw were not safe for the unprotected human mind. The sultan's successor ordered the observatory sealed. The rending mountains stand between us and the observatory. The door will be sealed and barred against us. The visions we find may tear at our senses. So, I'm going to add Slee as a precaution. But in this case, this is going to be something I do actually want to have the Callagine for if I can. We do have an erudition, so this keeps my library available for a little bit longer. No reason not to go to the Peacock store. And I suppose if I get reinstated at the job, I can still just use the Grail influence to get the work done. I'll have like 90 seconds. Our snare has failed. My rival evaded our trap. And the expedition continues. The expedition plans for the next challenge. It'll consume funds. I can add funds now, or I could send another follower. The Fifth Eye Curse, we need Heart or Winter. Okay, so Lantern doesn't help us at all. Let's add Violet and then Eau Claire, and then we can add Forge for the high passes. Well, or Winter for that matter. My rival has failed in their expedition. Whatever they sought here, they haven't found it. They've abandoned their expedition. Okay, so we are in better shape than we were at the start. I've been reinstated for now, so this should have 90 seconds. Yes. Okay, so we're going to try and summon Azim again. Azim may enter only where the Grail's power is strong, and it will choose to enter only when it has been invoked. When invoked with the Forge, with which it is flirted so often. Mirrors are calm, the sun is steady, the glory recedes. I'm sane, if that means anything. No fascination drives your visions. It's over for now. Okay, so well, not all, but most of the threats that we were considering have been dealt with. My minion is returned, the evidence has been destroyed. I am a little safer. We've got 53 seconds left, so I don't need to worry about this evidence. So what we're going to do is we're going to preserve the Callagine. It doesn't have Winter, but it does have Forge, which is going to at least allow me to get past the high passes. So I'm taking a small risk doing this, but it's a calculated one. And did we... I guess we already dealt with the hireling. So we'll leave the talk for... Well, okay, there's one thing I can do. Chat with Pseudo-Charm about the Grail. The Mountaineer's Road. Our Forge skills represent plenty of expertise. We'll almost certainly make it through. We'll add Violet just because we can. And no evidence that... So I'm taking as the hypothesis that it's alternating between Red Church and Worm Museum. So we've got Lantern at the door. We've got Perfect Frost in favor. So still kind of inconclusive. Each of the stained glass windows of the Red Church is devoted to a distinct appetite, and the scenes they show are from life. Last night, in one of the uglier windows, I saw the appetites of a certain public figure satisfied in private. I know he won't want this information made public. Perhaps he will show me some consideration. Now, we don't have the same threat from evidence as before, so that's less important, but it's never bad to have, just in case things run away from you. I don't need to keep the big stack of prisoners anymore either, because our main focus is on the Peacock store now. So it's nice to have just in case I do need to go to the Spider's door, and there's no countdown anymore. But yeah, it's not a huge problem. Aha, there it is. Is that it? You've resolved an intuition challenge. And through the high passes, Frostguard and Shivering, we've made it through the mountains. The Wolf of Despair prowls elsewhere, no dread empowers this despair, it's over for now. So many rich aromas, like a feast upon the air, but first and mostly, blood. Change me, change me, change me harder. Now, my turn. Okay, so we're gonna... So this is beyond awful. I'm actually preserving Azim at the 0.3 second mark. So Azim technically isn't even summoned yet. Okay, we definitely need to actually earn our paycheck. Season of Ambition's coming up, so this actually may cause some problems. I may wind up having the Troublemaker running around again. Okay, again, writing down my notes. Dread Fascination. That's inconvenient, but not, not something. It's definitely something I can handle in the current situation. This Vitality won't be around for... Yeah, okay. The expedition continues. We should be adding money at this point. And... Rarefied Mind. So we'll lose the Glimmering if we haven't already, so we're not going to be able to advance anything else. Although we can add it to our list of locations, although I think probably it makes sense for me to actually follow up on these locations first. But I am gonna... Actually, okay, so if it's 33 seconds for an investigation... I think I'm gonna be able to lock up the troublemaker again. Call upon the Forge of Days who will end all nights. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Let's add Eau Claire just to prep. Okay, 10 seconds. We'll see. Yeah, it's the resentment. Well, we know what we need. Is she disappointed? It's difficult to tell with Suluchana. Alright, so back to our usual routine. We're going to get Eldridge to make a trap just in case. I actually also don't have any evidence. So, if I want to keep Azim in the world, I can paint him. And if I want to do something else, I think we'll paint Azim. An unusual portrait. I'll paint them into our world and perhaps they'll stay a little longer. Okay, fortunately it's a cautious scheme, so I don't need to worry about preserving my my locations. But like, it's pretty clear. Also, I should have dealt with the affliction, but that's fine. It's pretty clear I've been messing up in terms of the... Ever since I got these new locations, I've been very careless with my... I've been very careless with the locations that I have on the table, and that is not good. There's only going to be so long... Like, there's only going to be so many opportunities for me to mess that up before I lose something important. Alright, they're still in hiding. What exactly are they up to? I'm gonna have to beg for my job back again too. Alright, I've increased my knowledge of the secret histories behind the one we know. I am gonna get the glimmering back from painting, so let's take the Forgotten Chronicles and move those on. I have not shirked. Apparently, the purposes of doors. Doors have two purposes: to open and to remain closed. Today, this door remained true to its second purpose. My recent work is celebrated. My name is known. My work has done well. Now, unfortunately, that did also get us a staleness. I'm not gonna do this with Azim again. The urgency of appetite's not really gonna help either. So if that's true. But it may give me a glimmering. Okay, as usual, I want to take down my notes. Okay, so that's a clear case where we've had secret histories appear in the Worm Museum more than once. In fact, we have not yet seen the secret histories appear at the Red Church. So it could be that this has changed. The Peacock Door unsealed. When I visited the Red Church last night, they told me, between their clawings and their caresses, that the flower maker had visited but lately, with his nectar and his promise. I woke twinned and soddened the cheeks with the amaranthine nectar brimming in my hand. I captured what I could of it, only a few drops, but that will be enough. I don't see any reason not to go to the peacock store again. I'm a bit of an idiot, so I do want to use Azim here because I should have saved Azim for the study. Anyways, it's neither here nor there. We'll make it work. I'm gonna need to plead for my job back, but that's a different matter. I think we'll keep the talk verb open for now. And my rival has been up to some kind of mischief. The Suppression Bureau may take note. So I don't need to worry so much about working with the troublemaker. Oh, but I do need to cure my affliction. So yeah, apparently it's just the Monday episodes are cursed, because clearly I am coming on to my 5th recording for today. And I'm not any smarter than I normally am on the Monday ones. Alright, my recent work is considered notable. I've exhibited the latest paintings publicly. Surely someone will buy something. The other thing that's nice is just being able to get an extra episode in. Not exactly full on free time, but I had enough for another half hour. And that can be helpful. Okay, I need to wait 2.6 seconds. The fascination is a problem. No staleness, though. We're gonna have a chat with Azim. So I guess if I talk with him about Greek, he's gonna say, yeah, Frisian, the great mother's tongue, of course. If you have enough Greek, I guarantee that the experience of learning Frisian will be very pleasant. You study with Azim to learn Frisian. Of course, I don't have my study verb open, so, but we can at least time up for a bit. The expedition continues. In this case, I'm just adding money. At this point, I think I'm just going to keep trying the Worm Museum. I can't believe it. I don't even remember what it was on the... I dreamt last night of the Worm Museum. The hours have set wards about it and warnings before it, but they have left it open to mortal adepts who can prove themselves by reaching it. Perhaps they hope to inspire revulsion against the things that bred in the corpse of the sun. Those things are here still, always dying, never dead. They came from nowhere, the warnings say, and if they complete their work, the Mansus will be nowhere one day. Okay, we definitely need to heal up. We have a Season of Visions coming up. Aha! Alright. So these two things will cancel each other out unless I have a Season of Despair immediately afterwards, in which case I'll just go to my room and sulk. And yes, we will let nature take its course at this point. All doors must open as all lives must end. This door has found its end here today. We call upon the Elegist from whom nothing more can be taken. The Elegist knows what is already lost. His power will almost certainly protect us. Okay, throw the glimmering at it. Okay, Season of Ardor, so we'll be good for the... we definitely have more time with Azim. Okay, to be completely honest, I think at this point I'm just gonna keep going to the job. The curse shrivels. Our power is stronger than the power that was here. The curse won't touch us. And I'm certain that my adversary has lodged a copy of their notes elsewhere, with their solicitor, with their superior, or even with a contact in the press. This is troubling. So this isn't as big of a deal because we've got the Callagine to deal with it. I just need to make sure that I just need to get it back from the expedition. The sick room grows close and stale. Time to get up. So we still need to let the dread take care of the fascination up here, but we'll be in good shape. I don't see any reason why we would avoid going to the Peacock door at this point. And I guess we're at the end of our time together, but if I can, we should have one more test with the study verb, and then we should be able to get Frisian. And I'd feel much better if I could do that, so... Treasures lie before us. Our expedition plans for the next challenge. It'll consume funds. I could add funds now, or I could send another follower. So Dread goes up into the fascination. Now we have probably another minute to go with the study. Oh, hang on. No, because this was a simpler one, so we're going to leave Azim in peace. And Season of Suspicion, so suddenly getting rid of the tentative evidence is quite a bit more important. My investigation has turned up no new leads. Okay, I'm going to continue to pursue the troublemaker. We do need the tentative evidence against them. 30 seconds before we can go after the tentative evidence, so it's probably going to turn into damning evidence unless I try to do something about the weary detective. And I'm not quite willing to... Well... Okay, 2 wounds, 2 wounds, 2 wounds. I believe in you, Porter. Inconvenient. Last night I visited the Worm Museum, which is both within the Mansis for security and without for safety. The Hours have charged the Colonel with its defense, and even the Lionsmith does not challenge him here. Winter is the chiefest aspect of this place. The worms thrive where things end, but they can also be ended, and they must if the Mansis is to endure. This morning, the chilly certainty of the Colonel's hand still rests on my shoulder. Increase my knowledge of the secret histories behind the one we know. So we've got our first Forbidden Epic. Now, the whole reason I brought in Azim was for the study. Frisian, the Great Mother's tongue. Of course, if you have enough Greek, I guarantee that the experience of learning Frisian will be very pleasant. Greek will serve as a foundation. I'll learn everything I can. Okay. Study-wise, I don't think dream-wise, I don't think there's anything else for me to do, so we will use the Frangiclave for the Peacock's Door again. I am eventually going to need to deal with the frost. The world is still as ice. Each movement is a journey. So this will eventually decay down into dread. I could avoid the dread by bringing in one of the hangers-on or upgrading something like the pawn or whatever. We'll worry about that later. Yeah, I'm slightly worried about the evidence. The Callagine will help. Excuse me. The Callagine will help deal with that. But I think this is a decent enough equilibrium to end on. So, well, let's see what we got from the eye at least. The great telescope has rusted and fallen from the dome. The lenses have cracked, but pale lights rotate slowly above the floor. The lamps held aloft by dancers. Perhaps they imitate the procession of heavenly bodies. Perhaps their motion mourns the passing of the sun. Alright, the chief of the astronomers who dwelt here must have been a practitioner of the invisible arts. In a cedarwood box in his quarters, beneath the decaying bed, we find what we sought. The Book of Masks, Athena Vanna's work on the rogue hour called the Vagabond. The Larkabine Codex. Christoph Larkabus claimed to have purchased 2 handwritten copies of the Codex in the supposedly extinct Frisian tongue from a family of witches on the shores of the Sea of Marmara. The third was given to the sea. I believe... yeah, it was the Morphe Codex I was thinking of, so... Now, I think actually there may be a second one of these, so I probably didn't need to talk to Azim, but whatever, we've got him now. A cracked watchman's glass. A forge-aspected follower could repair it, but the cost would be high, or I could use up what power remains in it. A consecrated lintel. This is the skull of a door through which power has passed. And all my people. So I think keeping the Callagine around is not a bad idea. We can use them to destroy whatever evidence comes up, but we should probably move people onto Hunter's Pits right away. I do have the option of using a Vagabond's map, but like I said, we've definitely run into the problem of... like letting the troublemakers sort of run roughshod over my locations, so I think lowering the number of vaults on the table would not be a bad idea right now. The other thing that's nice is that if I play this correctly, I can probably get both Azim and the Callagine on each of the expeditions, and that's just a nice way of preserving a couple of very powerful summons for a long period of time. But overall, I think it was a decent little run. I'm happy that I did this. So we're closing in. I'm actually gonna I know this has been a little bit longer, but in practical terms, let's take a look. Larkabine Codex. Okay, so that was Rending Mountains 3 on my list. So we've got 2, 5, 8, 15, 18, so 21 more texts by my reckoning. Obviously, this is something I want to double check. I'm not going to put all this effort into doing all of this and not make sure that I have every text that's, on my list. But yeah, total of 21 books over 4, 6, 10 locations. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. This would be the Monday episode for, well, I'm assuming it's Monday for you unless you're watching this after it goes online. So as always, there will not be an episode for Tuesday. That's a sort of day off, and we'll be back on Wednesday with the continued adventures of Ivan Vucetich. Thank you for watching, and take care until I see you next time. Bye.